Hello there. My name is Alvin, and I'm based in Antipolo City, Philippines. I'm a huge fan of heavy metal music and in its various styles like classic heavy metal, thrash, black, death, doom, industrial, some goth, and grindcore. And as a fan, I've been collecting music in its physical form since I started seriously listening to it back in 1989. Yeah, I'm an old geezer. Since most metal albums are not released locally here in the Philippines, I order online, or I order CDs online, and I started this habit back in 2002. And I usually order 4 or more titles when I order online to make the most of the shipping fee, which is, you know, it can reach as sometimes even more than the amount of the merchandise that I've ordered. And it has steadily increased through the years, so it's getting expensive. And thus the term haul is used to describe these kinds of orders, because it's not just a single album, single CD, single LP, or single cassette tape that I usually order. It's actually minimum of 4 at the least. And like what I mentioned earlier, I've been hauling since 2002, and I've been getting my CDs in boxes like these. I've noticed that there are a lot of unboxing clips out there in YouTube, not necessarily for CDs but all other stuff, and I didn't think of doing one until recently, and so this would be hopefully the first among many unboxing videos that I can share with you guys. And for this edition, I have 2 boxes of orders I placed around the US Thanksgiving. This one is from Nuclear Blast, and this other one is from Nuclear War Now. And yeah, I know it looks like a pizza box, but no, it's not pizza, and it's not vinyl also. I didn't order vinyl for this order, or for this batch at least. So the big amount of online orders cause delays in shipping and processing, and I kind of expected it, and that's why I only got these 2 boxes actually earlier today, which is Thursday, December 28th. So let's open the boxes, because I'm very excited to open it as much as you are, to finally see the contents of these boxes. So let's start with this one from Nuclear Blast. Let's play some music. So let's start things off. I'll describe each article of merchandise that I get, or I unleash from the box. Okay, so first one is this shirt from Immortal. Yes, it's a Sons of Northern Darkness shirt. So you have the album cover on the front, and on the back it says, "The kings at hold on their thrones, immortal and invincible, the might lives on." So okay, Immortal. I wouldn't say they're disbanded, but they've splintered off into 2. Abbath has gone his own way, doing solo, if you could consider it solo, and Demonaz is back. I think he's with Horde, I'm not sure, but Demonaz is back, and I think he's making a new Immortal album. So first thing out of this haul from Nuclear Blast is this Immortal Sons of Northern Darkness shirt. Okay, next one is a receipt, which I don't give a shit about. Alright, first CD that I have, it's Venom Incorporated with their debut album Ave. And as you may know, Venom Incorporated is a splintered band from Venom, which has 2 of the original members in them, That's Mantas and Abaddon, along with Demolition Man, who was part of the band when Kronos was out back in the late 80s and throughout the most of the 90s or mid 90s. So this is their first album, and they're touring around the world. They're touring Southeast Asia, they're touring Singapore, but I doubt it if I can make it there. So Venom Incorporated. Next would be Decrepit Birth with their fourth album, Axis Mundi. So it comes in slim digipack. So this is the fourth album from the brutal death metal band turned tech death. So it kind of sound like tech death era Death the band, Chuck Schuldiner and stuff like that, during their Polarity album. So looking forward to hearing what they have on this album. Next is Memoriam for the Fallen, and also comes in digipack. I think Nuclear Blast is releasing a lot of their stuff in this form. So Memoriam, as you may well know, is consists of members from Bolt Thrower, Benediction, and Cerebral Fix. But the main guy is Carl Willits, of course, from Bolt Thrower. So, and I think they're playing the same mid-tempo grinding, mid-tempo slow grinding war metal or death metal with death metal themed with war stuff. So Memoriam, their debut. Next is Belphegor. So Belphegor has grown to be one of my favorite bands. They played here in the Philippines back in 2016. Sadly, I didn't catch them because aside from them, there was no one worth seeing for that lineup or for that particular local metal fest. And this album that I purchased is Conjuring the Dead, which is from 2014. So their second most recent album. They released a new one earlier this year. Don't have a copy of it yet, but Conjuring the Dead, part of my Nuclear Blast haul. Next is, wow, it's The Exploited. So Beat the Bastard. So The Exploited, you may know them as a hardcore punk band from the UK in the 80s, but actually they made a stylistic shift around the 90s. From hardcore punk, they evolved into playing thrash metal, crossover thrash metal, which is not that much different from DRI or Suicidal Tendencies, but of course with their own British punk stamp on their music. And this is Beat the Bastards, which actually I had a copy of this, locally released cassette copy of this years ago, back in the 90s when it first came out in 1996. And unfortunately, sold it away because I got rid of most of my cassette tapes. But yeah, I'm repurchasing it on CD form, and it actually comes with a bootleg, an extra DVD on it, so live bootleg. So it's pretty interesting. So Exploited, Beat the Bastards. Next is another Exploited album. This is The Massacre, which actually came earlier than Beat the Bastards. This was released back in 1990, and it was re-released in 2014 by Nuclear Blast Records. So, and this is it. Also comes in digipack form, and includes 4 bonus audio tracks. So 4 bonus tracks for this reissue, re-release for the Exploited's The Massacre. Alright, last 2 on this whole, and it's from one band actually. It's from one of the pioneering second wave black metal bands, but they've evolved ever since then. And this band is Enslaved, and Enslaved is or this first one that I have here is Reetir, or I don't know how do you pronounce it, Reetir. Anyway, I've been a fan of Enslaved for a long time, and I especially like the way how their music has progressed from, you know, black metal to Viking black metal, And now it's like progressive metal. You know, you can hear shades of Pink Floyd in their music, but their music has stayed aggressive. It still has that aggressive touch to it. So right here, and this last one, also from Enslaved, is titled In Times. So two albums from Enslaved coming from or included in my my recent haul from Nuclear Blast. So there you have it, my haul from Nuclear Blast. So to show you again, so the two albums from Enslaved, In Times and Reatear. Then two albums from The Exploited, The Massacre and Beat the Bastards. Then we have Belphegor and Memoriam. And then Decrepit Birth, Axis Mundi, and the debut album from Venom Incorporated. And lastly, of course, or the first item on this whole was this Immortal shirt that I got, Sons of Northern Archers. I think I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. Okay, moving on, let's move on to my next haul, which comes in this pizza box. Big. First time that I received an order coming in this kind of a box. So this is from Nuclear War now, and let's open it. Right, great. I opened it on the wrong side with all these white thingies. Anyway, alright, so let's see the contents of this haul. First and foremost, we got Brain Dead. So Brain Dead is a classic Malaysian death thrash band from the 90s, and this is their only album titled From the Ecstasy. And as you may know, Brain Dead has been covered by, Massive Notion. Massive Notion, obviously, is one of the top local or top Philippine thrash metal bands. They've toured in Malaysia, and happens to be one of their gigs in Malaysia, probably out of tribute for this classic band. They played a cover from Brain Dead. So it's one of my hauls from Nuclear War now. It's Brain Dead with From the Ecstasy. Right, next, Arace Kingdom. So Arace Kingdom, this is their third album, I think. Is it their third? Yes, their third album, The Unburiable Dead. So earlier this year, I purchased their earlier two albums, and I like it so much that when I saw that it was available and on sale on Nuclear War now, I purchased it right away. And so they're death thrash trio from the US. So Arace Kingdom, The Unburiable Dead. Next, okay, so it can't get more classic than this. This is Sarco Fargo with Inri. So Sarco Fargo, this is the cult Brazilian black death thrash metal band, whatever you call it, but they've been influential throughout the metal history ever since they came out, and they've influenced a lot of bands around the world. They're from Brazil, and this is their debut album, Inri. Okay. Alright, next up is Nocturnal Breed. So Nocturnal Breed is a Norwegian black thrash band. Actually, they're part of the retro thrash movement, if you've heard of it. So prior to the neo thrash movement of the 2000s, there was a retro thrash movement from the late 90s, around 97, 98. It came out. It was actually bands from Scandinavia who played thrash but mix it up with black metal, so it's more of a black thrash metal hybrid. And Nocturnal Breed is one of the bands from that retro thrash movement, and this is their debut album from 1997, Aggressor. Alright, and another Nocturnal Breed album. This is No Retreat, No Surrender. and this is from 1998. So the immediate follow-up to Aggressor. So still from the same band from Norway, and part of that aforementioned retro thrash movement of the late 90s. Okay. Then we have, alright, this is Vastum. So Vastum, they're not that well known, but I stumbled upon their debut album, Carnal Law. Got it from someone locally, sold it to me, and I was impressed by their style of death metal. It's not the blasting type of death metal, and it's not necessarily old school style of death metal, but so well refined, well played style of death metal. And if you hear it, it's quite interesting to really listen to. So this is their most recent release, Hole Below. So this is Vastum. Okay, moving on, I've got Wombat. So Wombat, this is their comeback album from 2015, and this Swedish band came out with the underground classic Internal Caustic Moments, back in the early 90s, and they actually returned in 2015 to release this album, Downfall Rising. And based on the reviews that I read about it online, seems like they haven't skipped a beat, or they didn't miss a beat. So it's as if there wasn't a gap of almost 20 years from the time that they released their Internal Caustic Moments album. So Wombat, this is Downfall Rising. And then I have Blood Incantation. So Blood Incantation, Starspawn. This is a very widely, highly regarded album from 2016. This is their debut full length, and it's considered one of the strongest debuts that has been released in a long time, and considered one of the best albums of 2016. And Blood Incantation, they're very much influenced by Incantation, but they offer much more, and it's definitely something interesting to listen to. So there's Blood Incantation with Starspawn. And then I'm down to my last two CDs from this, or for this haul. I've got Archgoat. So Archgoat, as you may know, are a band from Finland who plays black death metal style, bestial style metal, and this is their second album, The Light Devouring Darkness. So Archgoat, this is actually my first Archgoat CD. I've seen them through their YouTube clips, but this is the first time that I've ever owned one of their albums, so looking forward to listening to this. And then finally, last CD on this soul from Nuclear War Now Records, it's Anatomia. So Anatomia, this is their most recent album, Cranial Obsession, which was released this year, 2017. And Anatomia is a band from Japan who plays death doom, which kind of reminds me of Coffins, though they're in the same death doom style. And they actually played in Singapore back in, I think, around August. They opened for Angel Corpse, or there was this Morbid Fest that was organized, and they were one of the bands that played in that fest. And yes, and this is their latest album, Cranial Obsession, which of course I'm also looking forward to hearing, as I've had one of their CDs before, and I'm looking forward to listening to more of their stuff. So again, so to summarize, or to show you again my Nuclear War Now whole, I have Anatomia with Cranial Obsession, Blood Incantation with Starspawn, Archgoat with The Light Devouring Darkness, Wombat from Sweden with Downfall Rising, Vastum with Hold Down, Nocturnal Breed, so two CDs from Nocturnal Breed, No Retreat, No Surrender from 1998, and Aggressor from 1997. Classic Brazilian cult metal band Sarco Fargo with In Read, their debut album. And then Arace Kingdom from the US, The Unburial Dead. And first band that I showed you from this whole is the Malaysian death thrash band from the 90s, Brain Dead, with From the Ecstasy. So that wraps up my unboxing for this edition. So I'm looking forward to making more of these videos as I haul along this 2018. So this is my last haul for 2007. I didn't do much hauling for this year, but next year hopefully I'll be able to haul some more and share it with you guys. Share it with you through these videos, and tell me what you think. I'll be posting this on YouTube, and post your comments, or I'll be sharing this in Facebook also, through my Facebook page or through the various FB pages that I've been lingering around in. So please share with me what you think, and what you think I should haul next time. Give me suggestions on what I should be listening to, and what I should be getting the next time that I order online. So again, this is Alvin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching for the last 20 minutes. So I'll see you around, guys.